Okay.
Hi everyone, welcome back to part 2 of our interview with our fashion partner and artist Paula Zammit. My name is Carol Himelhoch with Himelhoch's department store at himelhochs.com. We lost our Wi-Fi connection in part 1, so we're picking up at the point where we are going to be looking at some of Paula's pieces. And we were just having a conversation about how elegant the fashions, the vintage fashions of the 40s and 50s were. And I was mentioning that you were talking about your passion for why you love these types of fashions and why they are subjects of your paintings. Right. And I was sharing the common experience when I posted old Himelhoch's ads from the 40s and 50s on Facebook, from Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, and so forth. I got this huge reaction from people who said,
"It strikes a nerve, doesn't it?"
Wish that people still dressed this way and had this element of style. And there was just, you made a true statement with what you were wearing. I mean, that is style. It's always making a statement, but there was something about the statement of something like this.
Right. Right. You didn't dare step on a train, go on an airplane, anything, go to the theater without looking a certain way, and it's really become very much lost in our society. So.
Yeah, that was a social norm, and the norms certainly have changed. And I think there's a lot of women whom I've heard from who are longing for that sense of style to come back. So I think that your pieces can take us back there.
Yeah. Well, and that's what it does for me. I mean, I have so much fun when I'm working on these pieces. I can't tell you. And so it's a body of work that's continued from, 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago, I think, actually now, when I was a resident at the Red Bull House of Art. And I think it's a theme that I'll be coming back to again and again for a very long period of time. There's so much rich material out there to garner from. So this particular piece, sure, this is Tatiana.
Hello, Tatiana.
Right. I gave her that name because I don't know, when I looked at her, she felt
she looks like
to me,
a Tatiana. Yes.
Yeah, a little bit of a Polish-Russian vibe, which is my heritage anyway.
Yes.
So,
and, just the beautiful detail of the silhouette of her dress, and the draping and the flowers and the attention to detail is just stunning. And I love the shoulders.
Yeah, definitely some shoulder pads going on there.
Oh, yeah. So let me just slide this down, and can you tell us about this next piece?
Right. Well, this one's called Fire in the Sky. As you can see, this gal has a pair of solar eclipse glasses. And I did this right about the time that we had the big eclipse.
Yeah.
Was that last summer or the summer before?
I think it was
Can't remember now.
Yeah.
It's like time's blurring. But anyways, she's sitting on a quilt, and I love the graphic quality of the black and white stripes.
Yes.
Contrasting with the colorfulness of and the softness of the quilt. So.
One thing that I've noticed in your pieces too, which I love, is that you never see the full face of somebody. It leaves this open to your imagination.
Right.
That's so cool.
I love that the viewer can bring as much to the table,
Yeah.
In creating the narrative as me, the artist. I have a job to do, but I like to partner with my viewers, and people will come up to me constantly when they see my work at a show and offer their thoughts about what they think is taking place.
Oh, how fun.
And it's really, really fun, and it's amazing how varied the information is from different people.
Wow.
So, yeah, for me as the artist, that just creates a whole nother layer to it.
I love it. This is stunning. All right, I'm going to move this down. Tell us who we have here.
Well, this is a piece that I did actually back during the Red Bull House of Art. Definitely got the 60s vibe going on.
Yeah.
And you can see she's got her nice dress gloves.
Yes.
Hat behind her. And, of course, the, iconic white pearls.
That's right.
So.
That's right. Well, it's interesting because obviously the dots are bigger from back in the 60s, but polka dots are big right now.
They
in
are.
style.
Yes, very much so.
And I love how you have you've carried that into the background with the circular images there.
Yeah, and I think, having grown up as a kid who my mom sewed, she taught me to sew. So when I'm creating these pieces, it's really fun for me because I'm thinking about, well, how would this fabric lay? And of course, you've got the dart here in the dress. And, I have a really good understanding about how construction takes place with pieces of clothing because I've got some experience with that.
No doubt
So it's
that
really fun for me.
influences how well you paint the clothing too, because you have that understanding.
Thanks.
Wow. Is there anything behind that? No, I think.
Yeah,
Right.
probably some unfinished
All right.
business.
Well, we won't do that. But this, oh my gosh, this is. I absolutely adore this piece. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you don't have to. Do
Okay.
That.
So yeah, this one I was asked to be part of a show out in San Francisco, and it was called the Detroiter Show. I think there were probably about 30 Detroit artists that were a part of that. And so I was asked to create 2 24-inch pieces. I sold the other one, and then this one I still have. I've had so many inquiries about it.
I love this.
But
The Ambassador Bridge.
right? I thought, hey,
Couldn't
they've
be more
got a
Detroit.
cool bridge out in San Francisco, but we got an awesome bridge here too. So
Yes, we do.
Put that in there, and she's smoking her cig right down there at the base of
Yes.
the bridge, and got her pearls on, and she's ready to go shopping.
Oh. Yeah, stunning.
Thank
Just
you.
so fashionable. I'll carefully set this down, and maybe you can show as we're.
So this piece, if you want to talk about this, I'm not sure.
We don't have to be
kinda-
all fashion.
Kind of
pieces.
different for me. I'm also a gardener. I think that was a very big passion of mine. It still is, but it was my creative outlet for quite a few years before I went to art school. And so again, I've just tried to incorporate these things that I have experience and I have knowledge about and I'm passionate about. So this is called the Seedling. And there's many times where plants almost have a little bit of creepiness to them in the way that they grow extremely quickly. I will go and check something that I checked just the day before, and it's shocking to me how much growth has taken place in a very short amount of time. And then the root systems and
the
all
root
that.
system is just incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, that drive for life.
Yes. Yeah, I think we can all relate. Though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, before we go on to other paintings, did you paint a wall in the background?
So my crazy wall that's in my studio, this was a white wall when I moved in. But I have these granddaughters that I just adore, and I will bring them to the studio from time to time.
Oh,
and
I love that.
I just wish that somebody had let me do something like that as a kid, and so I'll pour paint out into a tray for them and give them brushes and just let them go to town.
Look how talented they are.
Right?
Yeah.
They've had so much fun doing this, and at various times they'll come up and can we paint a little more on the wall? And
So how old are they?
oh gosh, so let me get this right. Isabella is 11, Eloise is 7, soon to be 8, Harlow is 1.5, and the number 4 is on the way. So,
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a girl. So
I think it's
4
wonderful
girls.
because I think that we, have creativity that's inherent when we're young, and it's almost taught out of us.
Exactly. Yeah, and that strive towards perfectionism,
Yeah.
which is not a bad thing to reach for excellence, in various areas. But I think we have to be really careful with our kids and not squelching that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I love it. That's so bringing it out and letting them express themselves. So okay, what do we have here?
So this is a print. Over here, I don't know, Steve, if you want to pan over to this corner with these textured pieces.
Yes.
This is a different medium that I work in, which is called encaustic, and it's a mixture of beeswax that has damar resin melted into it, and then pigment added into that. And sometimes I'll work with this in a very painterly way and fuse it with a heat gun.
Wow.
And so it's a self-leveling medium.
It almost feels like a ceramic.
Right. It
Yeah.
becomes very hard and
Yeah.
archival.
Wow.
So, yeah, you don't need to worry about touching it. But then there's other times when I work with this medium, I'll work with it in a very textured 2.5 to 3D type of way.
That is just incredible.
It's so fun. And
Oops.
it's nice for me that I have at least a little bit of space up here where I can have 2 different mediums going on at the same time, and depending on my mood, if I don't have a piece
Yeah.
that's got to get finished immediately, I can
You
choose
can
what I want to work
Shift
on.
gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back real quick to the fashion theme
Okay.
and talk about this painting right here.
Okay.
If you could tell us about that.
Right. Well, this gal is called Indoor Fireworks.
I love this one.
Thank
it is
you.
so elegant. Oh,
Thanks.
but go on.
It was a challenge. I mean, I looked at it and I said, I just love the gesture she's making, the hand on the hip, the gloves.
Yeah.
And I thought, can I pull that off? That sheer fabric
Yes.
over the skin of her arm.
Yeah, I mean,
because I had
look at
never
that.
done
Look
anything
at
like that.
That's just incredible.
But, yeah, I didn't back off from it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for it, and I'm pretty happy with
And the outfit is
how it
just so
came out.
elegant.
Thanks.
The
Thanks.
jewels in there and everything. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's a sassy looking gal. I think she's probably one of my favorites.
So, and did you give her a name?
Just Indoor Fireworks. She
Okay.
does not have a name
Okay.
herself.
So
no.
that's up to us to name her then.
That's exactly right.
I love it.
Yeah. I sold the piece to a gentleman one time. It was a no face, bright turquoise dress, red dress gloves, and he came up to me right after he purchased it and he said, "Please let her be a redhead." And I said, "She can be whatever color hair you want. You own her now and she's going home with you." So yeah.
Oh, I love it. So let's see. Are there other fashion paintings, or shall we move on to?
I think that's about what I have here at the studio right now.
Okay.
In that genre.
Well, how about these lovely whimsical pieces here? Like,
Sure.
where do you want to start on these?
This was just a completely different body of work that I went off on. I had a solo show last fall at M Contemporary Gallery in Ferndale that Melanie Chard opened. And I kind of headed off in this direction because I needed to. I feel like right now the political climate and so many issues going on, people just feel so angry all the time. And I needed to do something that was more lighthearted and fun and that people
It's an escape almost.
escape,
Yeah.
but also anybody can connect to this.
That's true.
I don't care what end of the spectrum you're on certain issues, but these are pieces of art that I think can bring people together and make you smile. And I do this, because I love to sell my work, but I also do this very much for myself. And
Yeah.
I had a ball. I had so much fun painting these. They made me smile the whole time I was working on them.
So tell me, what is happening in this?
Okay.
I take it flight.
I'm
but,
not
you know.
sure. Yeah, why would you see a baby flying across the
Yeah.
air?
Yeah.
Did the baby escape from somewhere? Is the baby not a real baby? It's just floating and looks like it might be a real baby. It almost reminds me of the big tethered balloons in the parade that you might see downtown at Thanksgiving. Yeah, the narrative is wide open on that one. I think some
sure
people
is.
actually look at these and they're a little bit disturbed by them.
Oh,
Like,
interesting.
Like there's an element of, trepidation or danger. What's
Oh,
happening
wow.
to this
Oh,
child?
how interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of see it as, the innocence of being able to fly without anybody trying to bring you down. That's
Tether
my
you.
that's my
Right.
interpretation. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I see. That is interesting how people can
Oh, right.
read different things into the same piece.
Oh, people, it's
Yeah.
amazing what people will come up with sometimes telling me about my paintings, and I
Wow.
love it. It's really entertaining for me.
So here's another one over here.
Right.
Tell us
Right.
about this.
So yeah, again, we're kind of exploring that idea of, floating, flight. Why is this element, this gentleman, up in the air that high? He's elated, maybe. He's really pumped up about something, but he's obviously up in the air way higher than he would be if he was just, jumping off the ground himself. And you can interpret it. It's his jacket.
His jacket.
But it does have a cape-like quality for sure. Again, just a little hint of maybe danger. Those are power lines that are going across the front there, and traffic light. So I don't know.
I love it. So here, this is where you do a lot of your work and your mixing of paints. And,
yes, my messy
so how do you,
palette.
and I'll step out and maybe you can show us.
So, yeah, I am not one of those artists that has a super methodical way of mixing my paints, and I've always approached that just in a way that just feels right to me, and just I have taught some workshops where people watching me mix my paints are very confused by what I do.
What did you just do? What's your formula?
And it's kind of hard for me to explain, but it just comes to me in a way that it just...
Like a master chef.
Yes.
With a recipe, you just never know.
You're adding those ingredients together, and you just kind of intuitively figure it out. Yeah.
Wonderful. Let's see, what haven't we seen? I know you have some work in process, so.
I do.
Are
This flat piece, I don't know if Steve got this. This is another encaustic piece that I've been working on, and like I said, this
I love
is
the colors.
I really love this palette too. It makes me feel good, but you never know where these pieces are going, and I think that's always what's really interesting about this medium. It's not like oil painting where you pretty much know what you're going to get, what the outcome's going to be. And this one is, you have to not let yourself get frustrated with it and just allow things to melt into one another. You end up with accidents that you had no idea were gonna, and as an artist, that's kind of fun. You have to decide, what I'm gonna keep and what I don't want to keep. This is a medium, though, that if there's areas that you're not happy with, you can hit it with the heat gun and get rid of it.
Oh, wow.
Melt it right off of there, scrape it up. But
isn't that something? And these are these some finished pieces?
They are, yep. Oh. These are some of the other encaustic pieces that I've done.
Beautiful. Look at that.
Okay, that's a nice squeaky sound. Who's that guy?
These are stunning.
Thanks. It's a process where you can actually build it up with a lot of layering, and then when they're under really excellent lighting, which is not in here, you can see all those layers showing through.
Wow.
Yeah,
those are stunning, Paula.
They're made out of beeswax. Beeswax with Damar resin, and many times people will feel like, oh, is this archival? They hear the word wax and they think it's going to melt like a candle, but that's not true. These are totally safe up to 150 degrees. And if you look at the Fayum, F-A-Y-U-M, mummy paintings at the DIA, this is the medium that those are done in. And because that beeswax acts as a preservative, the colors are just as beautiful and vibrant as the day they were painted.
I love it.
So when they dug them up out of the tombs, there you go. So, a couple thousand years old.
That is crazy. Yeah. Well, I think, have we taken a look at what you...
I think so.
I know there's a lot in progress, but we won't, do that to you.
Right. Yeah, it's fun to look at things that are halfway done, but if they're not developing just how I want them to, it's probably best not to put them on
it's
camera.
in progress. It hasn't, it doesn't have your final vision.
Right.
So I am very grateful to you for letting us visit you at your Corktown studio.
Are you kidding? I'm thrilled to have you guys here. This is so much fun.
And just so you know, Paula is going to be, her paintings are going to be on himelhoch.com. Also, you have prints.
I have prints
of your paintings that are, beautiful quality prints as well. So I know you have a few items and that you're in the process of loading more.
Yes.
So if you've enjoyed seeing Paula's work, please come visit us to see more of her collection. Thank you all for joining us, and Paula, thank you for your time. It's been just such a pleasure to see your studio and your magnificent work.
I always love to have people come visit. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great day.